Hello and a warm welcome back to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel. In a video you probably weren't expecting. It was unannounced, but we thought, do you know what? We need to bring you some exceptional content ahead of Royal Ascot, and this is our Royal Ascot Antepost preview. We're only a couple of weeks away now from the big week at Ascot. Fantastic week. I'm sure a lot of our viewers listening, Jack, are going to have tickets for the big meeting. International runners from all over the globe coming over. Can't wait.
Yeah, I really can't wait. I mean, now we got the Derby and the Oaks out of the way. It really is kind of kicking into gear. 2 weeks today, we'll be there in top hat and tails. I mean, we won't actually be there in top hat and tails, but the top hat and tails will be on, and we'll be looking forward to a glorious week ahead.
Absolutely, really looking forward to it. And there might be some news about where Jack and I will be spending Royal Ascot later this week, so do look out for that. During this show, though, we're going to be putting up our top bets for Royal Ascot itself. They will be in no particular order, a bit like I think what we did around Cheltenham time as well, but it will be our I think I've got 4 races I'll be covering with 5 selections. Jack's going to have 5 selections as well. And hopefully we can land some winners in a couple of weeks with these Antepost prices. Jack, I'll let you kick things off. What's going to be your first selection for the big week?
So for the first selection, I'm not going to go short prices. I think Little Big Bear should probably be a little bit shorter than 15 to 8. The draw could be somewhat of a problem, but I can't really see him getting beaten. And anyway, the first one is going to come in the St James's Palace. Now, I've been a big Cicero's Gift fan all the way from 8 to 1 down to the prices now. But I mean, we're looking at 10 to 3 in a place, so I've actually jumped ship. If you asked me this time yesterday, Cicero's Gift would have been one of my selections. Beat Colsar, of course, in great style at Goodwood when we were there. I think Colsar's a good yardstick, probably performed to about 100 against his elders last time out. But then I do think Mostabshir has got a lot more to give as well. The Shadwell horse who beat Ziriab by 5 lengths last time out. And of course, Ziriab's gone and beaten a Godolphin horse. Today it was, in fact, this afternoon. So I do think Mostabshir has a lot more to give. I know he's well fancied for the Craven. He took a big step forward at York after disappointing there. And I think he's going to come on leaps and bounds again. I'm really keen to take on Chaldean and also Paddington as well at the top of the market there. I think they're a little bit too short. I think Cicero's Gift and Mostabshir are the 2 that I'd be looking towards. But 8 to 1 about Mostabshir. I can't really see him going off 8 to 1 on the day if he does get there. And it'll be Mostabshir for me in the SJP.
Mostabshir in the St James's Palace for Jack at 8 to 1 for his first selection. I'm going to go for a race where I'm going to have 2 selections in the race, one at the top of the market and one a bit of an outsider. It's in the Coventry Stakes. And the obvious selection in here, as much as we have seen a Sadner for the George Bower Yard, the obvious one and the one that I think will take all the beating is going to be River Tiber. I'm very excited about this horse, as a lot of us can be about Aidan O'Brien 2-year-olds. But this horse at Navan was absolutely exceptional on debut. And then the run at Naas the next time, if you wanted a run where you could have gone, I know exactly what Aidan O'Brien's going to say after this. He's going to want to step this horse up to 6 furlongs. That was the run. The speed this horse ran the final furlong in was exceptional. The time was really good for the final furlongs. It just shows what this horse could potentially do over 6. Aidan O'Brien's almost kept it hidden ahead of Royal Ascot, how good he could potentially be over 6. But River Tiber, he's by Wootton Bassett. He could be a really speedy horse. I'd imagine he'd end up to be maybe a Guineas type, kind of similar to Little Big Bear, I'd almost imagine, in terms of profile. But I think he could be very good. And the one outside of the field, and I'm going to be a bit of a hypocrite here, our viewers won't know this, Jack, but when we were at Goodwood for a novice stakes that was previously won by Massar and Royal Scotsman a few weeks back, it was won by a horse called Barnwell Boy for the Charlie Johnson stable. Oshie Murphy took the ride, and the on-course announcer said, could we see a horse who's potentially as good as these? And I said, not a chance. But I've had a look through and I've watched the run back, and I've never seen, he was so inexperienced. He was learning plenty even in the final couple of furlongs, this horse, and he was extending clear. And he beat a horse called Packard, who's since come out and won at Lingfield today in really good style. He drew clear. There was a Gosden horse who was unraced to finish second. I think that horse could be very smart as well, but it just enhanced the form of this Barnwell Boy. I think it's going to take a massive step forward. He's 25 to 1 currently for the Coventry. I got a feeling Charlie Johnson's got a really smart one on his hands, and like I say, that Goodwood Novice Stakes has thrown up some really good winners in Massar and Royal Scotsman in recent years, and I think Barnwell Boy could potentially be one that goes for the Coventry and could end up back at Goodwood for the Richmond later in the season. We'll have to wait and see. So River Tiber around 5 to 2 and Barnwell Boy at 25 to 1 for me in the Coventry. Jack, moving on to you for your second selection.
On to my second selection now. We're going on to a handicap selection. It's nothing too Yeah, I'd say kind of out of the box, but looking at the Royal Hunt Cup, I think Astro King's going to go off a lot shorter than 12-1, which he's priced at the moment. I mean, that run when he was luckless fourth at York last time out, you couldn't want a better prep run. I think, of course, he went off a pretty short price for it last year at 17-2, managed to finish fourth that day off £3 higher. I know he's changed yards to the Daniel and Claire Kubler team, but look, they've clearly got a good tune out of him last time out. Richard King's had a bit of a tough day with Passenger, of course, the Dante and Astro King on the same day. He is a 16-year-old, but I don't think they've gotten the most out of him. He was one of those unexposed Sir Michael Stout handicappers who looked like he could have been a group performer back in the day. And I think it was in August when he was third at Yorkshire in a big handicap, and he was well fancied at Ascot. He went off favourite for the Royal Hunt Cup 2 years ago, and he was second, off a pound lower than he is today. I think he's not going to go off 12-1. He's 6 years old. He doesn't have the illustrious connections as he has done the last 2 years. So Astro King, if he does go to the Royal Hunt Cup, I think he's a good price at 12-1.
I will have one for the Royal Hunt Cup. I won't put it up just yet. First of all, I'm going to go for a Group 1. It's the Ascot Gold Cup. And it's a horse that Jack and I are going to agree on. Jack will probably give an angle on this horse as well. But it's a horse called El Habib, who I actually put up on Twitter after his run in Sagara around 40-1. He's now best price, I think, at 28-1 for the Ascot Gold Cup. But before I go into kind of his last couple of runs, I just want to go back to when he was a 3-year-old, when he ran at a listed race over a mile 6 at Ascot. Beat a horse called Giavoletto, who's ended up winning the Yorkshire Cup, a Group 2 in good style, beat some decent horses. And the third that day was Lionel, who ended up winning a cocked hat, which is just incredible, really. And I've got a feeling that this horse is just showing improvement, run from run. And Jack, I know you fancy this horse for the Dubai Gold Cup and ran a good race there, I think finishing 5th that day. And then in the Sagara, I was there that day, and immediately, I was actually with Toach Jamie Benson. I turned to him and I went, if you want a horse at a good price for the Ascot Gold Cup, El Habib is going to absolutely love it. It was good to soften the Sagara at Ascot. I think this horse will only appreciate the ground being a lot better, hopefully, come Royal Ascot week. A step up in trip to 2 mile 4. I think we could see even more from this horse. I don't think he got the best of rides in Sagara either. He came right from the back and was given a bit too much to do, you could say, but stayed on really well into third. I think he's a really, really smart horse. I think Coltrane's definitely the one to beat. It's the obvious one with Kyprios now kind of not running in this race. And yeah, El Habib, I think 28-1 is far too big for an each way price. And Jack, you're in agreement with this one?
Yeah, that'll be one of my selections as well. 28-1. He won't go off 28-1, will he? I still find it remarkable that he ran in the Derby on only his second start, because the owners wanted a day out, and he was 250-1. Look, they've got it as his best performance was seen at Ascot, of course, over the mile and 6, and his second best was when he was a close, only beaten 4-6 at Doncaster in the Ledger. He was staying on 6th that day. I actually think that the switch to Andrea Azzini in the last 3 rides has actually been a bonus. I think Andrea Azzini is useful to have in these staying contests. Let's not forget he almost burgled Neff Road a Goodwood Cup on multiple occasions. So and a few decent group events there for a horse who probably wasn't better than a Group 3 horse. But look, I think he's definitely worth up the step to 2.5 miles. He's not exactly bred to appreciate it, but look, he's not going to go off 28-1 on the day, is he? I think he'll probably go off maybe a single figure price, or if not, I think he's going to go off biggest 12-1 on the day. It's a muddled division at the moment. If there is a shock, wouldn't be surprised if it's El Habib.
Yeah, El Habib, yeah, really fair price each way. Let's get on to my Royal Hunt Cup selection then, shall we? And I gave Jack no clue to who this could be, and it was probably one that no one would have expected. It's a horse called Dunham. It's spelt Dunum for trainer Miss Natalia Lupini. And if you can go and look at this form, Jack, I'm quite happy for you to look at the form while I'm talking about this horse. But this horse has switched yards last year and started off with Natalia, a rating of 58. She's now had this horse 7 runs. And this horse hasn't been outside the top 2. First, second. And last time out, ran a really good second at the Curragh in a Premier handicap there. Ran a really good race, beaten by Johnny Mert horse, who's come over from France, who had previously really good form over in France. So was a bit unlucky that day. And only a short head was second. And taking a horse from 58 to 95 is absolutely incredible, and this is the plan. I've listened to interviews, I've heard this is the big plan with this horse. 25-1 is far too big. Royal Hunt Cup winners, usually you want to be sort of in the high 90s, early 100s. That's kind of where the ratings have come from in the last 12 years. So you'd imagine 95 is absolutely perfect. This horse is so consistent. You like I say, 7 runs and hasn't been outside the top 2, and the majority of them have been wins. So you don't know where the ceiling is with this horse, and he just seems to know where the winning line is. So Dunham for Miss Natalia Lupini, probably be one of the stories of the festival. 25-1, I think, is far, far too big. Jack, what do you make of that one and give you your next selection?
I don't like it because it means Sam knows something. It means Sam's heard something from somewhere, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all, eh? But no, Dunham's definitely one I'll be keeping my eye on now. I think I'll probably be having a little bet with you, Sam, there, because I don't like that, eh? You hear a lot, but I've heard that one's gone under the radar for you, so no. This one's more of a speculative one. It's going to be in the Queen Anne. Maljoum is going to be at 8-1. I'm not sure he's going to be ready to win, but I think he's definitely got an out on place chance there. Of course, you've got Modern Games and Spiral. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those two doesn't go there. Probably in Spiral, looks to go elsewhere. I just don't think there's too many top-notch milers this year. The 3-year-old division, of course, may spring up a couple. Don't think Chaldean's a proper miler, but of course we'll kind of see that unfold in the St James Palace. I think the likes of Paddington, Cesare's Gift, Moss Stabshire, one of those could definitely go on to win the Sussex. But I think Maljoum is the one miler who could be kind of far and above Modern Games. Modern Games, of course, he's a gritty winner. He's a 5-time Group 1 winner in as many countries, I think, as well. But Maljoum's fourth the last time he was seen in the St James's Palace last year. It still gives me nightmares. I remember putting him up at 16-1 for the St James's Palace. He went off at 8-1. I thought, goodness me, we managed to find a bit of value there. I have no clue, just because he's beaten good old Roccagiani, now called Flaming Rabbit, in the German 2000 guineas. He went off a big price, but somehow he didn't win the St James's Palace that day. Had a luckless run with Kieran Fallon on board. But every time I listen to a William Haggis interview, and I'm not one to listen to trainers all too much to try and influence it, the one horse he keeps going back to is Maljoum. He looks, as a 4-year-old, he keeps saying he's much stronger, he's much quicker this year in comparison to My Prospero. He's saying he is the miler for this year. He's going to be the top-notch miler. So I think Maljoum, if he does bounce back, he may not be up to 100% in the Queen Anne, but even if he isn't, I think he's probably got a place chance at 8-1.
Yeah, no, when we get to our Royal Ascot official preview, I'm sure I'll probably give him Maljoum a bit of a mention. He's not going to be a selection on this show, but I got a feeling that he could be a selection close to the time as well. A really likeable horse, and I'm sure he's got a big future this year over a mile. My final selection is going to come in the Albany Stakes, and it's a horse, probably short odds Antepost, but I do like this horse a lot, and it's Jabara for the Roger Varian Yard, who ran a really, really huge race last time at Newmarket, had no run about 2 furlongs out and absolutely flew home. And I've got a feeling that this horse could be very, very smart. And Roger Varian, when listening to him on What a Shout, I think it was last week or week before, he was speaking very, very highly of this horse. He thinks a hell of a lot. And the second in that race, or the third, I think it was, La Garida for the Ammo Racing team, has since run at Goodwood and beat a horse called Indispensable, who was well fancied at Goodwood that day. And Indispensable was actually behind a horse called Soprano for George Bowie, who's a very, very talented filly. I know that for sure. And I've got a feeling that the form of this is just working out so well. I was at Goodwood, saw La Garida. They're probably going to end up going for the Albany as well. But I think the horse that beat it, Jabara, could be very, very smart. And 4-1 may not be the worst price in the mile. I could see this horse going off 6-4 if making it to Royal Ascot. Jack, you got one more for us?
I do. I have one more for us. I did mention him just there. It's another Haggis horse. My Prospero I put up in our flat Antepost video for the Prince of Wales at 12-1. He's now 8-1. I still think he's got a good chance. It looks like it could be a top race. Luxembourg, Baybridge, they are all in there. I think my Prospero's on in the Lockings was perfect. I think he screams like he wants a mile and a quarter. He could be a top class mile and a quarter horse, and I think he's got an each way chance. So he'll be the last selection for me in the Prince of Wales at 8-1.
Yeah, my Prospero, Jack, putting this horse up in the flat Antepost preview right at the start of the season, where we've had a bit of hard luck, but we have got some good selections still in there, like my Prospero and also the mighty Blue Rose Scent at 10-1 for the Diane, which is only a couple of weeks away.
I'm telling you, if you're not watching our flat Antepost videos, what are you doing? Sam put up more, which is his thousand guineas. It was his nap, his classic nap of the year, and we both put up Augusta Redan as well. So we're absolutely flying.
Yeah, look, we have, and I think we do a lot better on the flat. But look, don't worry, we get ourselves ready for the jumps, and we're there, and we do find winners. But we do love the flat, and we find it. Well, we try and find as many big price winners as possible, and hopefully during this show we come out of it with plenty of winners. And going to push you, Jack, for a best selection out of the ones that you've put up. If you had to say one was one of your favoured selections, who would it be?
Oh, it's a great question. I'm going to go for Moss Stabshire in the St James's Palace.
Moss Stabshire and just about 8-1. I'm going to put up one for Miss Natalia Lupini, Dunham in the Royal Hunt Cup, I think is 25-1 and could be a big gamble on the day. I got a feeling 25-1's far too big for horse who hasn't been outside the top two. Hasn't been outside the top two, and I don't think they've hit the ceiling just quite yet with this horse. This is some story if this one can go through and do it, and it would be a lovely one on the day as well. So that's my best bet at 25-1 Antepost. You can, if you had named, said, Sam's going to have a few horses, who's his best bet going to be? You could have named probably about 100 trainers and still not got it.
Never play poker, Sam. Never play poker. You're not keeping your cards too close to your chest there.
You never know, might end up being a bigger prize, could take a drift, and I still end up putting it up on the Royal Ascot preview, and that won't be too far away either. That will probably come a few days prior to Royal Ascot, giving you guys time to watch that. We'll be covering sort of all of the top races and some of the big handicaps during the week as well, probably in a 2-part video, so do look out for that. As always, keep liking and subscribing. The recent comments that we've been receiving, and also the recent subscribers we've been getting, we really do appreciate it. You absolutely love the Derby video. You love all of our flat videos, and we will continue to deliver right up until the jump season, where we switch into jumps mode and we carry on. We do not stop here on the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel. We give you a video a week. That is our aim, or at least a video a week, if not more. So do subscribe, but we do this for free. It's not hard. Click that button down below and show us some support. We're going to be back this Thursday. Not the most exciting weekend of racing, to be totally honest, Jack. We'll be covering some of the Group 3s from Haydock, but just with regards to this weekend, we'll probably be doing a review of the Derby and some of the classics that we've seen over the weekend as well. So do join us for that. That will probably come to you Thursday night or Friday morning. We'll let you know on our social media, so do look out for that. But yeah, as always, like, subscribe, comment, get involved, and we will see you again this weekend. Thanks for watching.